this we call our slides disruptions. More featuring a few stories that we have inside. So, we're working on building this. I'd love to have a bureau here so that we have some folks actually with feet on the ground here all the time covering this local community. We did this because we could see in our tracking for this that we were getting a lot of readers from Northern Kentucky. And I described, there was people asked about our strategic plan. Well, we have one overriding strategic objective, and that is to be to the state as a whole what the Courier-Journal used to be in the glory days of newspapering in Kentucky and local ownership of our newspapers. The Courier-Journal was the hymn book. It was the thing that put us all on the same page on issues and state government and all of that. So I want to be that. How long will it take? A long time. I may not be around to see it, but somebody will. And the state will be better off when it happens. So we were seeing a lot of traffic from Northern Kentucky, and I describe then our second strategic objective is the way the universities also do some strategic planning, and that is they wait till the students make a path in the grass, and that's where they put a sidewalk. When readers come here and make a path, we're going. When we see a critical mass of readers come, then we're going there in a big way. Because we have to follow our readers' interests. We know the beauty of, it's kind of the good and bad and ugly of this is that at any given moment, we know how many people are on the site. We know where they came from. Did they come through Facebook or Twitter, or Google, or referral? Got all these options. We know where they came from, how they got there. Did they come because they were interested, somebody told them about a specific story, and they came in on that story, and then they keep poking around. We have this data. How many, how long they stay there, what they're reading. We know our most popular story every day. And all this time, the time they spend is really important. We are way above even Wall Street Journal averages for time on site, which tells you something. We are really tracking on weekends very strongly in ways that most websites don't. That tells us something. I'm going to show you. The ugly part of it is when you learn what the most popular stories are, you're saying, you've got to be kidding me. That did it? Okay, so our most popular stories tracking this month is one we had yesterday. Was it Tuesday that the Kentucky boy was on America's Got Talent? Or y'all don't watch that either? Okay. A Kentucky singer was on. I think it's America's Got Talent. He came in third, but he had been several times. Has a huge following. Of course, all Kentucky's rooting for the kid to win. Well, it so happened that a company out of Lexington, who's made it just a brilliant branding, brilliant brand for itself. It's sometimes problematic. The name of it is sometimes problematic for us because we're not really comfortable having that name in our headlines. But they've been brilliant, and the company has grown. It started in Kentucky. It's grown exponentially. They now have a warehouse as big as this library and employ that many people. It's called Big Ass Fans. I'm sure you've heard of them. They are those big fans that you see in industrial buildings, and they've really gone fancy, all this work. Let me see if we still have this about the staging they did for this young man for America's Got Talent. And you'll see how brilliant they are, but we may not have that picture still up. Let's see if I can find the storage. It was 5 huge fans facing this way with light coming through. Huge fans facing out, lights coming through, and he was performing in front of. Let me see if I can find the story. I know I can. A little bit of it has been the most popular story. There it is. On the site for several days. Now, those are big ass fans that you see. And that's the staging for this kid's performance. It's gone viral. So sometimes you think, okay, that's a serious story, but everybody loves it, and they come to read it, and they like that Kentucky got this national notoriety. There were probably a lot of other stories I thought were more important that day, but the reader rules when it comes to the numbers. So I like the picture, and I like the idea that this kid got that kind of support from Kentucky. I like it when our talent is recognized, and it happens frequently. So there you are, the model for the future, at least as I'm interpreting it. I call it a newspaper because I don't know what else it would be. It's a newspaper. It's just not on paper. Eco-friendly newspaper. And there are no barriers to it. You don't have to pay for it. All these sponsors are paying so that we can provide this service. We will never do a paywall, so it's always going to be for you. We want your interaction with us. We want to know what stories did we miss in your community today. You should tell us, or you should send your stuff to us and let us use it. We're happy to. What I like about it most, as someone who loves Northern Kentucky, is that I can use this to introduce Northern Kentucky to the rest of the state in a way nothing else can. I like that. I hate it that in Kentucky we always call it the balkanization of Kentucky. We live in these silos, and sometimes it's county by county. Sometimes, in the glory days here, it was more regional. I don't know what it is now. I hope it's not back to the county silos, but we did have nice regional cooperation when we really needed it, and we had a really strong legislative caucus that actually worked together to make things happen, which was wonderful. It's the way it should be. So I like that through what we're doing, we can get the message out about Northern Kentucky. And I hope that we can help Northern Kentucky bring the rest of the state in terms of understanding, all things can happen with understanding. We talk to each other, we work together to figure things out, anything's possible. I want to make these things possible. This is the purpose of it. So if you look at our content, and there are drop downs on some of these, like education is going to give you both schools and universities. Government is government. Health is going to give you our health page as well as a fitness site. Living is going to give you arts and culture, food, fun, entertainment. But here's to the point today, one of the things that we have a special site devoted to philanthropy. What do you know? We give credit for the good people that call attention to it. And there it is. So that's habitat. It's built 381 plus homes in its 25 years. Well, that's a huge, huge thing. It's happening here in northern Kentucky. Our habitat is fabulous. Faith Feeds. These are a group of people just about a year ago who decided they wanted to do something meaningful, and they saw a lot of waste happening in farm fields. You know, machines go by, gather stuff up, lots of stuff gets left on the ground. When that happens, their team goes in and picks up what's left over. And they take it to farmers markets, they take it to inner city food deserts. Imagine a food desert in cities and hungry kids in a plentiful world. It's just, I could never reconcile the kids in America going to bed hungry with the resources we have. So they're out there picking up the fresh vegetables, taking them to places that don't have them, and sharing. And, you know, all kinds of fundraisers, nonprofit stuff, news about the good people are doing in our communities. And I have a lot of Northern Kentucky stuff on this page. So I'm proud of the depth of the content and the number of stories we have and the positive focus of it. And I hope we can bring that more deeply into Northern Kentucky as we grow resources here. We're looking at Louisville because I'm seeing increased traffic to Louisville. Again, a city discontent with absentee ownership of their former glorious newspaper. They're voting with their feet to come to KY4 to find out what's going on around the state. And we see that happening, so we're tracking the growth. We're limited ourselves only by the resources we have to create these news bureaus everywhere, but it will happen over time. We're still, as I said, maybe a growing model, and we're learning something every day about the power of the new technology to really bring people together and create communities in a special way. That's my message to you. Thank you for coming. I see people I haven't seen in years. It's really good to see you. We haven't changed this in like 20 years, right? But I did come bearing gifts as well. And they're old-fashioned books, and they're great Kentucky books. So I think, you want to draw a name? Okay. Names? And we'll let the first winner come pick the book. Here there are, because I know you all are historians, the Atlas of Kentucky, the Kentucky Encyclopedia, a couple really cool things about the rare wildflowers of Kentucky and trees and shrubs of Kentucky, for those of you who are also pretty nice thing. Then the Kentucky Horse Book by James Archibald, which most of you probably know is a great photographer. And of course, you can't get back in Kentucky these days without a Hatfield tour. Everybody get their name in the pot, so to speak. So the first name drawn gets to take the first pick. Go down. And in the meantime, I need this pressure. Dave. Jill. Go Hegan.